Hi everyone, this is going to be a very quick before video. Partner and I have been down to the flea market in Vienna again at Naschmarkt as it's called, and I've come back with this. This is my find of the day. This is a Victorinox Climber pocket knife in transparent scales. As you can see, the scales are really scratched, and they've got some marks on them. So one of my tinkering projects is going to be, can I polish that up, clean it up and make it look better? I've already priced up a set of new scales if it doesn't work and I decide I'm going to hang on to this knife. And they only cost about €5. So this thing cost me €4 today. And there was a reason why it cost €4, because everything is very functional on it. It's really just dirty and gritty and needs a good clean. But it had the tweezers and it's got the toothpick in it. But when I opened up and looked at the big blade, what you can see here is it's got a really nasty bend on the tip, can you see? And it's actually quite sharp as well. So I bought it knowing that it had that, because as a tinker I thought I like the challenge of trying to see if we can, you know, straighten that tip up and see if it works. So that's the reason for the before video. I'm hoping that I can find some way of getting rid of that and restoring this knife to some more functionality without that tip. As I said, it's got all the other features. This one's got the hook and the awl at the back. Scissors, pretty good big pair of scissors on it. So I'll come back to you when I've done a little bit of work on it and we'll see how it goes. So first things first, got to work out again how to remove the scales and clean the inside. So show you the knife later. I've cleaned the knife, washed it thoroughly. It's been drying at the moment, but it's really nice and clean at the moment. I'll give you an update on the knife blade afterwards, but at the moment I wanted to just show you what I'm doing with the scales. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think what they were called then. As you can see, this is the front scale, and you can see there's a lot of very deep scratches and scuff marks on there, to the effect that it actually makes this translucent effect quite dull. And I've been working on the scale at the back, and I just wanted to show you a comparison, a kind of before and after. And if I can catch the light, I hope you can see there the incredible difference between these two. I'm still working on this one, but it's absolutely coming up really, really nice. It's a lot shinier and bright. A lot of the deep scratches I've managed to rub out. And if you look at the surface between these two, which were exactly the same earlier, I'm really pleased with the way it's coming up at the moment. I'm not sure it's really catching in the light very well. When I finish, I will put a little slight coat of car wax on it. But yeah, that's almost before and after at the moment, although this is still work in progress. And this is what I'm using. I bought this stuff, it's called Polywatch. And when I was tinkering with my pocket watch, this is a special kind of polish for the glass and acrylic crystals, the glass that you get on a watch, for rubbing out little scratches and things. And I was actually going to start trying to work on this with some very fine steel wool, but then I remembered I had this. I thought, oh, I'm going to give it a go. And I'm actually being very careful in using an old lens cloth for one of my glasses, and at the moment it's working really well. So that's just a quick mini update on the scales, and I'll show you that afterwards when it's all fitted back onto the knife. I have had a go at working on that tip, and as I said, I'll give you a final update on that, progress of that later. Okay, you ready to see the final part of the video? Here we go. I've finished, and I'm really, really pleased with the outcome. This was a €4 flea market find today at the flea market. It was absolutely filthy. The scales were deeply scratched and very, very dull. It didn't look translucent at all. Well, you could see through it, but it didn't look very nice. And now, wow, look at it. you know, there are still some scratches in it, and maybe you can see some of the, I guess, very faint scratches that I would have incurred using very fine steel wool on the plastic scale. But overall, it's got this really, really wonderful finish. It's shiny. I have put a little bit of car wax on it. I like the Victorinox bit, and it's really cool that when you take the blade out, it kind of disappears. The tweezers, sorry. But look at that, what a lovely finish. So if you've got a translucent Victorinox scales on your knife, and it's getting a bit scratched, I absolutely would personally I would recommend this Polywatch. It is a little bit expensive. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but you can Google it, I'm sure. You just use tiny little dabs and just rub it in. I use a circular motion on it after obviously rubbing down all the deep scratches, and I'm super impressed with that. I even used it on this very small translucent classic knife that I've got, which was actually a TSA seizure. So in America, if you board a plane with a knife, they'll take it off you, confiscate it, and then they sell them as job lots on eBay. And my partner picked up a few and gave me this one, which was very deeply scratched. Obviously it was carried on a keychain and got bashed about, but look at it now. It looks lovely. I don't use it very much because I have another classic one with the red scales, which you just like slip in your pocket or whatever, but I might use this one more now. It looks lovely, a handy little one. But as I said, everything on this knife is functional. The screwdrivers, the scissors, it's got a hook on the back, which none of the knives that I've got that hook. I bought the little screwdriver, which is less than €2 today, and put to make sure that that's complete because I have glasses and that little screwdriver is really, really handy. So it looks beautiful now. But if you remember, the big problem with this knife was that it had that bent tip. And my plan, and my partner said to me, oh, put it in a vise. And I don't know why, I just didn't even wait to try that. I made a right stupid mistake. I have a very small little anvil, and I took a small hammer and gently tapped it, and after first couple of taps it thought, maybe it's doing something. Gave it one more tap, and you can guess what happened. Obviously I snapped off the tip. I mean, it was really at the tip of that knife that it was bent, and it was actually very, very sharp. It was almost at 90 degrees. So, you know, I wasn't going to cry over it, because that's what you do. You try things and you make a mistake, and certainly if I'm ever faced with that, I won't do that again. But I've kind of filed it off a little bit to try and get rid of any sharp edges sticking out. And so now actually it is straight. It's basically got a blunt tip, but the other end of this knife, you know, it's got a very sharp, pointy little blade. So if I had to stab or puncture something to cut something open, I could always use that. So I'm not overly worried, really. What I did do was use Victorinox sharpener. My partner got me this for a little Christmas present. It's got the sharpening stone at the end, a little groove. My partner told me it's for fishing hooks. Don't know when I'm ever going to use that, really, but it's good to know it's there. And if you take the cap off, oops, I'll do it the other way. If you take the cap off at the end, you can see you've got like a little ceramic sharpener there, which is obviously really perfect for sharpening pocket knives like these. So the blades come up really, really sharp. So it's been sharpened. I've tried to restore some kind of tidy tip to the end of it. But really, honestly, I'm not overly worried about that. And I'm now going to perform a demonstration of which I'm notoriously rubbish at, which is like when you slice through paper. Ooh, I did it there earlier. Let's see if I can demonstrate it. I never get this right. Oh, there you go. Oops, tore that off. I told you I'm rubbish at doing this. My partner can do it so well and shave off little slices. Oh God, I'm so rubbish at this. Now, I hope that just shows you that the knife blade is really sharp, certainly enough for the kind of everyday sort of cutting that you would want to do. Anything sharper than that, then I'll use an Opinel. But for €4, I've restored use back to this knife because it looked horrible before. It looks really neat now, and I hope you found that useful. And I absolutely 100% recommend this Polywatch. Brilliant stuff. I know this is not what it was designed for watch glasses, but for this type of plastic, it worked really, really well. I'm sure other people have got other methods of, you know, polishing these things up. But I hope you enjoyed that. Looks like I'm promoting Victorinox products here. So that's the outcome of my video. I hope you enjoyed that and found it useful. Have a lovely day, and cheerio. Bye for now. There we go. Ta-da.